And we are live. Coach Morgan in the chat. Let's go. Goat is back, ready to make up for last time. My power went out and I sold the mock. Which team were you drafting for? Oh, Jags probably. Can't remember who the Jags were picking. Power went out. It was funny because I had like a tornado siren going off outside last time. And your power went out, so. We are back, ready to go with another Walk the Mock live. Let's see. There it is. There is the lobby. We have few teams open. 8 minutes until we start. First overall pick. Nobody wants the Raiders because it's boring. But we're doing 3 rounds here. 3 rounds. Raiders got a couple more picks in that first round pick, so I'm surprised someone didn't jump on them. I'm on the Broncos just because they have the least amount of picks, I believe, here, or the latest picks. Somebody just took the Raiders. There we go. Link should be in the description, or I could put it in the chat. Drop the link. Drop the link. Here we go. Link is to the room is in the chat right now. Just put it in there. Code GOAT if you still got to sign up. Are we full, though? We might be full. We are full. It's too bad I can't take myself off a team. So somebody else can grab that. But that filled up pretty quick there. Wish we could just start this now. We got 7 minutes. Let's see. Could I edit? Quick go to the draft. I'm surprised how fast that filled up. Well, we're going to do more of these. We're going to do more live streams here before the draft, and we'll have our day 1 live stream. Let's see if I go here. Owned rooms. I can't edit it. So we're going to have to wait the 7 minutes here. That's all right. Let's put a poll up for your pick for us to vote in the chat. Like my pick for the Broncos? Is that what you're talking about? Let's see. How do I get the Giants next time? Or you could sign up on Walk the Mock. I put a link in the chat. That's for this room, but you can click it and use it. And then when you sign up, use code GOAT. Ends up being really cheap. And then and then I put out this lobby. I tweeted it out. I posted on Twitter for our ex-subscribers first, and they chose their teams, and I tweeted it yesterday for everyone to see. Tweeted again this morning, and now when we go live, I put it in the chat, but it was the second I put it in the chat, it filled right up there. So Fano, number 1 overall this time. Well, yeah, he went to the Jets. What was that, 2nd overall? The Jets had a wild draft last time. I guess it was auto, but teams are filled. We got 6 minutes to go. I just turned. I don't know. We're going to have to wait 7 minutes and immediately thought, oh, fuck me, picking the Cardinals made the draft delay. Huh? No, it's still going on time here. You got the Cardinals 3rd pick. What are you going to trade? All right, you're already signed up. Yeah, so I post the link, Twitter first, then on here. Typically, we're not filled up yet, so I'm glad everyone's really interested here. We'll do more of these, though. We got a 3 round tonight. I probably have to wrap up the stream after the 3 rounds here, but we can do another one this weekend for sure, one next week. Well, we're 2 weeks from today from the draft. Crazy. We're ready to roll, though. Can't wait for our night 1 live stream. Me, Pete Jr., 5 minutes. Any questions in the chat about the draft or anything with the channel, anything like that? Let's hear it. A lot of rumors are starting to heat up. It's always tough to figure out if it's smoke or if it's legit. If anybody wants the Cardinals, Jacob is willing to back out. If anybody is ready, signed up, or can get signed up in 4 minutes, Would the Packers have to trade up to draft Chris Johnson? It's starting to sound like it. With the Avion Terrell injury and bad 40 time, he's going to drop, which could push Chris Johnson up. Apparently, a lot of teams like him, and he's a big-time playmaker. Got the athleticism, the length as well, the size. Some corners lacking that height, their length. So I do think the Packers probably would have to trade up. I'm doing another mock this weekend. I think I could squeeze him into the back end of the first round. So I know the Packers don't want to trade that far up. That would take a lot. What else we got? Hoping Bane makes it to my Dolphins at 11. I'm starting to think that's pretty realistic. Some people think the Titans could take Bane at 4. I don't see it. Robert Saleh really values the length on the pass rushers he always has. And then it comes down to fit. And, does he fit the Saints under Brandon Staley? You could argue against it. Does he fit the Commanders? Do they even want a pass rusher? I think he fits the Chiefs. I think he fits the Dolphins. Those are the two picks I'm really looking at, actually, Chiefs and Dolphins. So I think it's realistic. Heard Bailey's the favorite for number 2. Yeah, I heard the odds are saying Arvell Reese, but there's some rumors about Bailey. I've been back and forth. The odds say Reese, but I think Bailey makes more sense because you're going to have to start Reese off ball at first. You're going to mix him in off the edge, but the Jets at least they feel like they're set off ball linebacker since adding Demario Davis on top of having Sherwood. Of course, you can use a third off-ball linebacker, but they're going to value that, rotation player that much. So, Bailey, you're getting a plug-and-play, big-time pass rusher. Cardinals are available. 2 minutes left. The Cardinals are available. If you need to sign up, use code GOAT. Ends up being real cheap. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's another Jacob on the Chargers. I don't think he's going to back out, though. Let's see. I was looking at the questions. Cameron Sullivan, who do you think the biggest surprise round 1 pick will be, either team or player? Yeah, it's going to happen. I think Keldrick Falk's going to go earlier than people think. Sounds like Rutledge can go late first round. I was trying to think which teams could do that. Chargers, Panthers could be an interesting one. They would probably trade back, though. Patriots could. The 49ers could. Rutledge could be that guy that surprises. Sounds like Chris Johnson could go in the first round. I'm trying to think of a super crazy one that could happen. Who could that be? I don't know if we get a super shocking one like a Cole Strange. I don't know if we get that, but yeah, Rutledge, Chris Johnson are some surprise names. Probably going to go in the first, or could go in the first, I should say. Falk going to go a lot earlier. What is the likelihood my Saints get one of those 3 Sooners you mentioned, Robert Spears-Jennings? Spears-Jennings is an interesting one. He played a lot of free safety. Almost gives me box safety, almost built like a linebacker, plays like a linebacker when he's in the box, I should say. I'm trying to think. The Saints, could they get... If they still need a pass rusher in round 2, they could take R. Mason Thomas. Probably don't end up with Burks. Could end up with Halton. I think it's possible. Not really counting on it. It's hard to say. Is it a possibility Mesidor or Falk drop to the Texans? I don't think Falk will be there. I think Mesidor could be there. I don't know if they take him, though. Yeah, they need another pass rusher, but I don't know if they take him. Do you see Traden Stukes going this way? I do. I like Traden Stukes a lot as a second-round pick. Good big nickel, but his reps downfield, his reps at safety, he looks like a natural in coverage back there. I almost think he could be better at safety. Can you see the Titans trading up with the Jets to stop other teams from trading up for Arvell Reese? I could see it. I'm not really counting on it, but Reese would be such a good fit. But there's going to be a premier talent there, or we can enter the draft here. Yeah, you can make your rankings on here. I still didn't do that. Default rank. You make your own big board. Bring it in there. I don't have that. Fernando Mendoza already went first. We'll get a different screen up here to make it a little easier to see, a little more prepared this time. There we go. And is that annoying with that in the background? Probably. So Fernando Mendoza went first overall. The Jets are on the clock. Let's see. We got 3 rounds here. I'm really excited to see who comes off the board when, especially the third round. I haven't even done a third round in a mock yet, so it's gonna be interesting to see what you guys come up with here. But BS, I can't read. BS3 draft picking for the Jets. Who is 3 to 5 QBs like rankings? I have Nussmeier at 3. I have Allar at 4, and I have Joey Aguilar at 5. First half of the year, I'm like, this guy's legit. I know it's an interesting system, obviously, at Tennessee, but I don't love that he kind of declined as the year went on, but I'm kind of sticking with what I saw during most of the year. I'm going to have him in the top 5, which is quite bold. The Jets pick is in. Makai Lemon, 2nd overall, so a little bit different there for the selection. I wouldn't be totally against it. I mean, I would pick David Bailey there, but I am a big Makai Lemon fan. My number 1 receiver in the class. The Jets do badly need a receiver. They have Garrett Wilson. They need some help. They have Geno Smith, maybe a JSN-type receiver for Geno Smith here. It would make the offense better. We would think under Aaron Glenn with the defensive talent they've added, they need more, but they might be able to compete. So Makai Lemon would be an interesting pick. The Jets are the Jets, so maybe they surprise with the second. Someone's going to surprise up here. It's not going to go exactly as planned, so you never know there. Oh, the Colts were still available. Can you still? I wonder if someone could still join that. What's with Spencer Fano going in the top 3 both times we did this? Cardinals select Spencer Fano. These people love Fano. Titans select Arvell Reese. Yeah, if Arvell Reese is there, or David Bailey, got an interesting debate there. But I think they would take Reese and use him at both linebacker and off the edge. So every time we do this, nobody takes David Bailey at the top. He went to the Browns every time we've done this so far. And I've noticed that. Social media, people just really don't love David Bailey, but I'm a big fan at least. I'm not picking for the Rams. Someone else is picking for the Rams. Somebody in the chat said if you need help with the pick. Caleb Downs for the Giants. So another safety for them. That'd be an interesting pick. They got Javon Holland, obviously. Tyler Newman. I know they added Ardarius Washington. Downs, some teams may just view as more of a nickel player. I think he's much more than that. But if the Giants view him like that, then maybe they would pass because I know they do have Drew Phillips who could play the nickel spot as well. But it's interesting. Do you see a team taking a chance on Ty Simpson in the first round? It's definitely a possibility. I think somebody trades up for him, whether it's the Cardinals or Jets. Someone trades up to get that 5th-year option pretty late. Maybe the Texans pick somewhere around there. Thoughts on... Wait, I lost it. I'm trying to answer some questions in the chat. Sorry if I missed it. Thoughts on Davison Igbinosun. Very physical press corner. Can play zone as well. I think Ohio State, based on what I watched, they played a bit of cover 3 and man. Seems like a man coverage corner. The only problem is he's a little too handsy, a little too physical. Got called for it a bit over the last couple of years, and he even got away with some. I mean, the play will be well developed downfield, and he's really handsy, so that's the problem. Our team's just going to target him, and he'll be sticky in coverage, but then are they going to be drawing, pass interferences? So could go in the 3rd, possible in the 4th as well. Should the Rams take a tackle, linebacker, or corner in the 2nd round? I'm more of a depends on who's on the board. Depends on what they take in the 1st round as well. Corner, they probably wait a little longer. They added 2 legit starters. Linebacker, they typically wait. They don't value the position. They definitely should take a linebacker earlier than they normally do. Right now, I feel like it could be receiver in the 1st, tackle in the 2nd, maybe. Do you see a team taking a chance? I know we already went over that. Let's get back to the draft here. So we had Mendoza go 1, Lemon surprise pick at 2 for the Jets, but I mean, it would really boost their offense. Fano to the Cardinals. They do need a right tackle. That's where he played at Utah. I prefer him on the inside, actually. Now, not every team's going to, have that. I like him a little more on the interior with the Cardinals taking for right tackle. You can't really rule it out. It was pretty common in mocks earlier in the process. If Arvell Reese is there, I do think the Titans would take him. Just, Robert Saleh valuing both the edge and linebacker position, and they could use an upgrade at either, and you kind of get a 2-for-1 special with Arvell Reese. So I do think they would take him, actually. So Gavin takes advantage of that. Caleb Downs for the Giants. I don't know if they do that. They got a couple options in the secondary. If they view him as a safety that could play in the back, which I do, that could play everywhere, even in the back end, then maybe they would take him. But a lot of teams apparently just kind of want to use him like Brian Branch, and the Giants probably wouldn't take him if that's the case. Tyson for the Browns takes Jordan Tyson of Arizona State at 6. So if you're not worried about the durability concerns, then definitely worthy of that pick because he is super talented, twitchy route runner, big-time playmaker. Make a play on anywhere on the any level of the field, obviously. He's just injured at Colorado in 2022, still injured in 2023, 24, 25, even though he played most of those seasons the back end there. So probably doesn't go that early, but it could be like Tet McMillan, even though he wasn't injured. It could be like that situation where he started to fall in mocks and he just ended up going where at the beginning of the process, we were all mocking T-Mac to the Panthers, and that's where he ended up going, and it was so uncommon to see that mock at the end. That was pretty crazy. It's kind of at the same time, it's like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Like, what do we do? What do we do with the mocks? Could be similar to that. Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. If he's there, that's the pick. If Love is there and that's not the pick, that is going to be absolutely shocking. If he is somehow there, he's got to be the pick. And then Carnell Tate goes to the Saints. A lot of rumors about Tate going earlier. Daniel Jeremiah, saying top 5. If he definitely goes top 5, if you're saying he's going to go top 5, I'm going to look out for the Titans at pick 4. But it depends on how the board falls here. In this scenario, Arvell Reese was there, so Arvell Reese has got to go to the Titans at 4. David Bailey finally came off the board at 9. I don't think that's realistic. I don't know. I know a lot of people really aren't big David Bailey fans. I think it's a lot of overthinking. I understand what people don't, they're not in awe about with him, but I think there's a little overthinking with him. It's a freak athlete with elite get off. Get off is so damn important when it comes to the edge rushers. Elite closing speed. I mean, he's already bursting off the snap at as high of a level as you could find as a prospect. And then somehow he gets faster as he's closing in on the quarterback. In a blink of an eye, he's got the quarterback, and he consistently finishes, has that big-time production when it comes to tackles for loss, sacks, and pressure rate. Stanford and Texas Tech. I know you're left wanting a little bit more physicality, especially against the run, even though he does make some plays against the run. I just think people were overthinking a little bit with David Bailey. He's going to come in there. He's going to be a freak, and he has length to go along with all that. He doesn't have elite length, but along with all of that, he's not lacking. He's going to get into a defense, and he's going to get after the quarterback at a very high level at the end of the day. So I think he should go second overall, really, but we'll see. I'm wondering what if Robert Saleh gets his hands on him? It'd be crazy, I think. Back to the draft. I'll take a look at the chat in a second. Had to go on my rant about David Bailey that I'm sure I'll keep going on. Sonny Styles to the Bengals at pick 10. And yeah, if he's there, I think that would be the pick. Even though they kind of like some of their young linebackers, they picked a couple last year and they played them a bit. Al Golden really values linebacker position, like as much as anyone out there. And Styles is one of the better linebacker prospects we've seen in some time. So, and it would be a tremendous fit in that defense, so I think they would do it. This is what's interesting about the draft, because right now I'm hearing a lot of buzz about Sonny Styles going to the Titans at 4. I'm hearing even more about him going to the Giants at 5. But in this scenario, Arvell Reese was there for the Titans, and they got to call an audible, right? They're all right, we planned on taking this guy, but we got to take that guy. He's not supposed to be here. He's a great fit. And then in this scenario, the Giants made a surprising pick. So Sonny Styles, who I think will be off the board before 10, still on the board, and there you have it. Vitor takes Ruben Bain for the Dolphins. I think a realistic pick. I know some people are kind of insisting on him going before Bailey and him going top 4. I can't rule it out. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be a really good fit with the Dolphins. They need a physical presence off the edge there. And his ability to slide inside would be interesting with the Dolphins, with Sealer and Kenneth Grant too. Or even if he doesn't slide inside, but there could be, they can get creative with that, is basically what I'm saying. Because Kenneth Grant can line up as that nose spot. It could be real fun. And then you have the speed on the opposite side of Bain with Chop Robinson. That gets me excited, right? Maui Noah drops a little bit. There was a little bit of a recheck that was called for, so that makes it a little bit of a scare. But apparently he checked out with the medical, something with a disc in his back. So it was almost like scary news to okay, he's fine. Cowboys would be, if he's there, do they go, oh, maybe we have to take him because we're going to need a right tackle sometime soon, and here we go with the best one in the class. Let's take him. So it's just really one weird pick could set something off like this. And then Sammy for the Rams takes Monroe Freeling. You don't see that a ton, but you got a really good tackle prospect in the Rams. Are they 100% certain they have their starting complete offensive line out there? We talked about it. Warren McClendon surprisingly looked really good last year. Is he sure thing the guy for right now and the future? And they've had their injuries on the offensive line throughout the past. So if anyone goes down, they're kind of screwed unless they get a guy like this. They're trying to go win the Super Bowl this year. So if they have any issue on the offensive line this year, it's going to stop them. So they can't afford that. So that's why you don't see them mocked offensive tackle at 13 a lot, but it actually is pretty realistic. Still liking a receiver for them. Mansour Delane for Frankie in the Ravens at 14. Just too good to pass on. They actually could use a corner as well. Really good corner prospect. The best in the class. Seems like a sure thing. It'd be interesting to see, though, like how much they value corner. I started to think about that because maybe a couple weeks ago, I'm like, ooh, I haven't mocked it, but the Ravens definitely could take a corner. But then I'm looking at Jesse Minter, Anthony Weaver. Minter did not value it with the Chargers. Like, he had average corners, some good young corners, really. They took in the mid-rounds, a couple of them, and they were just fine because everything else is more important in that scheme. And Anthony Weaver with the Dolphins, maybe wasn't his call, but they, didn't really value the cornerback position. And the defense would always get better as the year went on under Anthony Weaver. So I'm starting to think and they have a couple good corners already. I'm starting to think they don't really have to value it this much to be a good defense. But Delane's still there, shouldn't be there. You could argue an elite corner prospect. You have the best secondary in football with this. So interesting debate. Interesting one for the Buccaneers here after the Lions pick pops up. If Caden Proctor's still on the board, it's going to be Proctor. Yep. That's one I am expecting. I'm starting to think he could go earlier. Kobe for the Bucs took Keldrick Folk, and it's just such an interesting pick, such an interesting prospect. I'm usually pretty firm, you could say stubborn at times with my rankings from start to finish. Of course, the more you watch film, the more it's going to change in the pre-draft process. But I don't change my rankings. I know you guys don't see all my rankings right away. It's kind of notes for me. But they typically say the same. But for Folk, for me, throughout this process, it's been a roller coaster for me. Like, I'm a little worried about I wish there was more speed or more get-off speed. I wish there was a little more production. But 6'5" guy, 270 pounds, runs a 4.6 40, did have 7 sacks in 2024. He kind of played out of position a ton at Auburn. So get him in the right position, right alignment, I should say. And he has a lot of upside young prospects. So he feels more like a 4-3 defensive end, but he has rushed from standing up. He has played from inside a ton. It almost feels like he could be out of position, even though he plays well there, stops the run well there. So with the Bucs, they could use him as a 3-4 end, or they can have him stand up and rush. It's a very interesting pick for Tampa there. Ioane for the Jets, a guy that could be off the board before this pick. But the Jets could use another guard in there, and they have a lot of physical blockers, especially on the outside of that tackle. So you add one on the inside here. And then Cameron for the Lions took Caden Proctor. I talked about, I think it's a tremendous fit, whether they play him at left tackle, right tackle, or left guard, which all a possibility for Detroit there because Penei Sewell could move to left tackle. Some talk about that. So I would love that pick. Proctor is a little boom or bust. Got to manage his weight. Could he struggle at first against a super speedy, quick pass rusher? Sure. I think he'll figure it out with the Lions. Dylan Thieneman for the Vikings, very realistic pick. Kind of their dream pick. I feel like if he's there, they're going to take him. Cameron for the Panthers takes Caleb Lamu. Interesting one there. Ikem Ekwonu, their left tackle, injured. So going to miss this year, but they did sign Rasheed Walker, but it's only to a one-year deal, very cheap one-year deal. So could they take another left tackle? It'd be tricky for them because they probably want Ekwonu to be the guy once he's healthy, and they do have Walker, so maybe they won't value it that much. But Panthers also don't have a ton of glaring needs, to be honest. So they could afford to do something like that. Akeem Mesidor for Daniel in the Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, super talented, right? Worth the pick in terms of his skill. Every down pass rusher, physical, can stop the run, but really good getting after the quarterback. Older prospect, durability concerns. Well, he stayed healthy this year, but going back to earlier years, you could label him with, past injuries, I suppose you could call it. My thing with the Cowboys, they're switching schemes up a little bit. I think they're going to value more speed, more of the stand-up rushers off the edge. Not that Mesidor can't do it, but maybe they won't view him as a fit. I'm not going to rule it out. Maybe they won't view him as a fit. I could totally see that. Let's see. Omar Cooper Jr. for Dinks and the Steelers. Yeah, I'm kind of running into that when I'm mocking with the Steelers, a team that doesn't have a lot of needs, right? You kind of look at left guard. Some think, hey, maybe they look for a left tackle. Maybe they're not happy with what's going on there. They need a quarterback of the future. They could use a slot receiver. Omar Cooper Jr. is a good slot receiver. How much do they value it, though? They have two good receivers already. I know they're not slot receivers, so it'd be interesting to see where they take. They're going to take a slot receiver, where they take it. Trying to catch up with the chat. We got the Chargers on the board. How do you take Dylan Thieneman over McCoy? Well, the Vikings maybe they don't think they need a corner. Maybe they do. They add James Pierre, who played probably his best season of his career last year. I don't know if Brian Flores needs a top-tier corner in them. They already have Byron Murphy, too, but obviously a guy that could play in the slot as well. I don't know if they feel like they need one to be a great defense. I think they would get Thieneman. There's more to Thieneman's game, and he doesn't have the durability concern. So I would agree with Thieneman over McCoy, actually. Let's see. And there's some debate about that Vikings pick. I like Thieneman right now. I'm still putting my board together, like around 13 on my big board. I like him a lot. Especially when I go back and watch the Purdue tape on top of it. Like, this guy is a rangy free safety. But at Oregon, he was like a do-it-all type guy. He's not going to lay guys out, but he's a sure tackler. He's super instinctive. It's just, it almost, I know Vikings fans get sick of seeing that mock to them, but it's almost like it's almost like how they ended up with Kyler Murray. A year where they were kind of out of money but they badly needed a quarterback that they didn't need to develop. But, a veteran quarterback falls in their lap and he's super cheap. It's like, what are the chances of that? To me, you could say Thieneman's kind of a similar situation. Harrison Smith about to be done. He's not under contract. Might retire. Maybe he comes back on the cheap. Even if he does, he's going to be done after that. And an instinctive, do-it-all safety. Not that I'm like comparing the two. I mean, they're different builds. But it just kind of a guy like that could fall in their lap. It's kind of like a dream there to me. I don't know. Back to the draft, catching up. Jermon McCoy went to the Chargers. Jacob selecting him. They haven't valued corner that much, but a different defensive coordinator could use an upgrade there. McCoy's really not supposed to be on the board because he had an elite season in 2024. It is a risk, obviously, coming off the injury all year last year. And then Zeke, 0 for the Eagles, taking Zion Young. Interesting pick, too. The Eagles, look for more outside linebackers as their edge rushers. It seemed to prefer more of the speed. I know Jalen Phillips was does a bit of everything. He has the physicality, could stop the run, he could play in any scheme, and they lost him. They're trying to replace him. But typically, look at the other pass rushers, especially under Vic Fangio. They like more of the stand-up, or especially the speed, the highly athletic guys. So I don't know, and I'm not ruling it out completely, but I just don't think they would have Zion Young at the top of that list in those categories. So we'll see on that one. But an interesting one. I mean, if they want a guy that could stop the run, Zion Young could be that guy. And then Blake Miller for the Browns. I would assume they move somebody to left, either him or Titus Howard to left in this scenario. I do like Blake Miller a lot. He played very well at that right tackle spot. Wise Kodiak for the Bears takes Caden McDonald. The Bears do need a nose tackle in there. They do have a couple options at D tackle. Sometimes Dennis Allen in his defense doesn't really get the big body nose tackle, so we'll see if he does it now. But I mean, they need to upgrade their run defense, and this would absolutely do it. I think that if the Bears could get a significant boost to their run defense, it just elevates them so much. And I think Caden McDonald, even though he's not the sexiest first-round pick, I'd probably feel a little more comfortable early second, but we're kind of getting there anyways. But it would give him that boost there. TJ Parker for the Bills. The Bills did add Bradley Chubb on top of having Gregory Rousseau. So in their minds, like, if we took an edge rusher, would he be a rotation guy right now? So that's the argument against it. But I do really like TJ Parker. He's my number 3 rated edge rusher. Stops run at a high level, scheme versatile, so much upside. You could compare him to Bradley Chubb a little bit, actually, and he's not going to be around forever. And then interesting pick for the Niners here in Antronaut, taking Kenyon Sadiq of Oregon. George Kittle is coming off that tough injury. Who knows when he's going to be back, and he has had his history of injuries. So you never know. And tight end is such an important position. And even when Kittle comes back, you could still use Sadiq because he can. Both those guys can align really anywhere out there in line and as a receiver. So that's like a sneaky pick that I'm not going to count on happening, but I kind of can see it, and he'd be dominant with the 49ers. And then the Chiefs go with Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Well, we missed the trade. Did I miss any? Yeah, surprisingly, the only trade. That's wild. Only trade so far. The Cardinals come up to the Texans spot with a 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick. That doesn't make any sense. How'd that happen? Is that right? 3rd-round pick, the first pick in the 3rd round, and a 2027 4th-round pick. The Texans did not get nearly enough value there, but Cardinals went up and got Peter Woods. I don't know if they have to go up and get Peter Woods. I think he's more of a 2nd-round pick. I love how twitchy he is, with the get-off speed. Love that. He's got to put more together. What alignment is he exactly? There's some upside there. He just really has to put a lot together. So the Cardinals probably could wait on that one, but they didn't give up a ton of value. Chiefs, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, pretty good value. He's still sitting there. I know they have a couple safety options they like, so we'll see if they take safety that early. Vitor takes Colton Hood, the Tennessee corner, still on the board. Really feisty is how I want to put it, press man corner. So that's, I think, would be a solid pick there. A guy that wants to get downhill and hit. He'll get be a little too aggressive and he'll whiff on some tackles, but you love how aggressive he is, and he could lay the hit and he's not like the biggest dude in the world. Some of these corners lately, those types of corners have been kind of taken over. KC Concepcion, which I think will go earlier in this, goes to the Patriots. Solid pick to add another weapon here for Drake May. And the Seahawks on the clock with the last pick in the 1st round. I can get back to the chat in a second here. Avion Terrell to Seattle. Now he's dropping a little bit. slower 40. It may be due to the injury, but he's currently dealing with a hamstring injury, I should say. I bet you he goes in the second round, but a really good physical corner that can play inside, outside, and I think Mike McDonald and the Seahawks would appreciate that. We missed any picks here? Yeah, so what stood out in the first round? We got 2 more rounds. They're going on right now. A lot of surprising picks. The Titans getting Arvell Reese, great value. He's supposed to go top 3, really good fit. That feels like a home run. Jeremiah Love, at this point, it doesn't feel like, wow, the Commanders got Jeremiah Love just because we know it could happen. But to me, it's still on that wow level. You got a rare, unique, elite running back prospect. I think he's a much better prospect than Ashton Jeanty, and that was a big time, some may say, elite prospect last year. In the Commanders, last piece of the puzzle, you can argue, for in terms of weapons, as long as they get Brandon Ayuk, I guess. I think that's a wild pick right there. David Bailey, the Chiefs, is a big one. Sonny Styles, perfect fit with the Bengals. Some surprising picks. Delane's a great value pick for the Ravens. I like what the Dolphins did with Bain and Colton Hood. Almost said Colton McCoy. Almost mixed Colton Hood and Jermon McCoy and made Colt McCoy. You combine both of them, that equals Colt McCoy, apparently. I don't know where I come up with this shit. I like Blake Miller. I expect him to go around there. TJ Parker. I like TJ Parker. That is kind of his range, though. Casey Concepcion's really good value. Another big-time weapon for Patriots. So that's what stands out in terms of the good, and the great in round 1. We had a trade in round 2. Titans just picked Emmanuel Pregnon, but round 2, we had C.J. Allen off the board first. Good. Would fit Dennis Allen's, Aaron Glenn, 2 Saints background, longtime Saints guys. Aaron Glenn's defense, he would fit. I think they're pretty set there, unless they're really looking for the next Demario Davis, like 2 years earlier. I guess it could be a year early. He signed a 2-year contract, though. The Jags traded up with the Cardinals. A lot of picks involved there. Unrealistic value. I don't know what's going, unless it's not saying the right value. There's a lot of picks, but I don't know if that's really good value, because the Jags actually get a 2027 first-round pick. So let's ignore that compensation right now. But they take Caleb Banks, who has the most upside in the class at defensive tackle. Problem is, multiple injuries, current injury, isn't the best run defender right now, but I feel like I'm not really worried about that. He has the upside, but if he stays 100% healthy, he could be really good from the interior, like ridiculously good. I have him as my number 2 D tackle, and that feels really risky for me. I know a lot of teams are scared to take him. I like Lee Hunter a lot. He's still on the board. I know not super flashy on tape. I think he's flashy enough. Titans took Emmanuel Pregnon, which is realistic because they need another guard in there. And they could go that route early second round. The Raiders get their right tackle in Max Iheanacho, who could go late first, but here we are, early second. Steelers, with a trade, they go up and get their future franchise quarterback. They trade with the Giants, so they go from 21 to 5. The Giants drop back pretty far, but they gain a 3rd rounder. Steelers get a 5th back. So that trade actually makes a little more sense compared to the other 2. And the Steelers get Ty Simpson to most likely sit behind Rodgers, but we're still waiting on Rodgers. I would imagine the Steelers know. Maybe they know what's going on there, but maybe they need a starting quarterback still this year, so that would be pretty big. Texans take Keanu Rutledge. A lot of buzz about him possibly going in the first. It's a dude, right? It's a dog, nasty blocker, especially in the run game. So the Texans could use someone else on the interior there. That would make some sense. And then cash for the Saints went with Lee Hunter. They definitely could use another defensive tackle. I like Lee Hunter just because, it's a big body guy that you could stick at nose tackle, but he's not stuck there, right? He could slide out. He's not going to go play wide, but he could play, in the A gap. He could play over the guard as well. He launches out of his stance. I know people are worried about the 40 time, the athleticism, but he's quick out of his stance, launches. He has the power. He stuffs the run. He disrupts the pocket enough for me. The Oregon game, right off the bat, that's the top offensive line in the country. Debatably, I guess. It was considered the best. Lee Hunter's more of a disruptor than people are giving credit for, so I would like that for whoever took him in the second round, and the Saints took him in this scenario. Grayson for the Chiefs takes Brandon Cisse. One of the more, it's funny because I just kind of finished watching the corners here recently. I Cisse could be one of the more overrated prospects, I think. But I could see the vision because he's, 20 years old. He doesn't have a ton of snaps under his belt. You love the physicality. You love the way he plays in press man. He can run. He's athletic. He can run with anyone. He's not afraid to attack downhill. He'll whiff on some tackles. Couple issues for me. The ball skills are terrible. The ball skills are brutal. Now, I am more of a fan of the lockdown corner than the interception corner, unless you get both, right? But it is very hard to become a great NFL lockdown corner. It might be tougher than anything but quarterback. Cisse's ball skills are pretty brutal. The way he attacks the ball, don't love it. It's just not natural. And South Carolina rotated him out a lot, I noticed. I didn't know that until I started watching tape. I'm like, he's not on the field right now. Am I searching for injuries? I didn't really hear anything about anything major there. So, but he's raw, really raw. You don't hear that being talked about enough. So I don't know if people are missing that on him, but I'd prefer him in the third round, and it's kind of a boom or bust guy in the third round. Kind of my thoughts on Darian Porter, the Iowa State corner last year. People were like in awe, the length, the speed. I'm like, I just see like a raw prospect that didn't have a lot of snaps under his belt, even though he was there for a bit. I see upside, but I think people are overrating him a little bit. So back-to-back years where I kind of have that. I think Cisse has a lot more upside than Darian Porter. Interesting prospect. And I don't know if anyone else in the chat saw the same thing with Cisse there, but risky one. Chris Johnson for the Bengals. Yeah, it sounds like he can go in the first round. The knock on Chris Johnson, there are times where maybe someone's got to step on him, but he wins those reps. He knows how to recover. He knows how to make a play on the ball. The ball skills are absolutely there. The speed, the playmaking ability, the instincts. Going to play a little better competition in the NFL, but this could end up being the latest he goes. The Bengals do need a corner. That probably doesn't get talked about enough. I guess people just say they need everything defense, right? That's accurate. That'd be pretty good there. Denzel Boston's still on the board. Pretty rangy prospect. Could go mid-first or could go around here. Then, boom, the Browns got their receiver off a trade. They had Tyson already, too. In this scenario, maybe they play Tyson more in the slot. Boston outside. This just feels like a pure just X receiver. Trade. Oh, yeah, the Saints went up. Only a few spots down, so Saints saw Lee Hunter just sitting there. They had to go get him. Chase Bisontis still on the board. I think he can go late first. I mean, I love the way I got a thing for the guys on both sides of the defensive line, or the line of scrimmage, I should say, that just explode out of their stance. Bisontis is one of those guys. He's got some power to him, even though he's not the biggest, lengthiest guy in the world. So that would be a home run pick for the Dolphins there. Nussmeier for the Jets. Nussmeier looked like a top 10 pick last year. Offensive line was horrendous this year. He didn't look as good, and that pushes him down the board a little bit. But, hey, maybe you get a legit future starting quarterback. Christian Miller for the Ravens. He's getting a lot of buzz lately. I'm good with him in the second, maybe middle to late second even. But I do see the upside, kind of a freaky dude with the freaky build. Ravens could use someone else up front. Yep. So we're kind of caught back up here. What's the chat going on? If you're asking questions, I'm sorry if I missed in the chat. You can feel free to repost it. Tyson is my slot boss, so that's what I thought. Boston the boundary. Let's see. Cole Wisniewski from Texas Tech. Yeah, I still got to watch more of him. I've watched some of him live. I feel like he's based on what I've seen live, I feel like he's underrated. I think he breaks on the ball pretty quick. Got some good instincts. Safety class is pretty good. There might be some gems down there. He's probably going to go day 3 a little later. I've watched most of safety class on tape. I've actually haven't watched a ton of him, so I do have to get him. But I do think he'll probably be a later day 3 guy. Could be a steal. There's a lot of sneaky safeties like that, and Lewis Moore from Indiana, a very late pick maybe, but good ball skills. Let's see. Feel like Kevin Coleman Jr. is getting slept on. Really like his tape. Yeah, the slot receiver from Missouri, taking over for Luther Burden in that role, and he's really twitchy. Good vision after the catch as well. Really athletic. Twitchy route running ability. Him and Cyrus Allen from Cincinnati, 2 slot receivers that probably aren't being talked about enough. I feel like they're firm round 4 guys. Like if they went late round 3, you'd be like me and probably you, like, all right, they're pretty good. That kind of makes sense. But I feel like they're going to be round 4 picks, and they can make an impact early on if it's a team that needs a slot receiver and they have an opportunity to play early on. That'd be a lot of fun right there. Thoughts on Skylar Bell? I think maybe a little overhyped, but I kind of understand it because he's a freak athlete. The production is absolutely there. He'll blow by guys after the catch, and you get the ball in his hands, he gets the job done. Now, he did have some drops for the big. You hear about him after the catch. That's all you hear about with him, and you think. When I put on the tape, I wish he was a little more elusive, or would be a little bit more, I don't know, break a little more tackles, a little tougher after the catch. He really doesn't have that. He more kind of relies on the speed, but he has it. I feel like a safer pick on day 3. Some people talk day 2, probably not there. But a guy that, again, if you just get the ball in his hands, he can make some plays. But maybe a little bit too much hype right now. Not that I don't think he's good. Catch him back up, and I'll go back to the chat. Giants, remember they traded back, right? They trade back up, and they traded back, and they traded up. So I kind of like what they did there. And they take Jacob Rodriguez. So if they don't get Styles in the first round, Rodriguez could be that guy in the second round. He does whiff on some tackles, but he's a rangy, big-time playmaker. I like that one that just happened. I like 3 in a row that I just love here because our Mason Thomas, underrated. Do I see him in that scheme, though, Lou Anarumo? I guess you could debate that. But underrated, guy who just makes big-time plays in big-time moments. Then Jeremy Bernard, I love his game. I think he's got so much upside for the Falcons. That'd be awesome for them at that pick. And then Jadarian Price. I'm a Vikings fan and a Notre Dame fan. Die hard for both. Vikings definitely need that starting running back of the future. Price could be that guy. Also a big-time kick returner. I like another one. I like Anthony Hill. I think he's underrated. He's a do-it-all. Like literally does everything well you ask from today's linebacker. So a good one for the Cardinals there. What are your thoughts on Bryce Lance? I'm hearing some rumblings on people not being as high on him, which is weird. Maybe the comp in North Dakota, or the competition for North Dakota State. Yeah, it's probably it. And because most of his tape is kind of just the go, or he had some red zone work as well, where he kind of had to high point the ball. I like that, but you wish you saw a little bit more of a route tree. But the speed is legit, the hands are legit. 17 touchdowns in 2024 when they had a little bit more, of a passing attack. I think it'd be a good 3rd round pick. It's almost seems like a boring comparison because it's the same school, but literally Christian Watson is the comparison there, and he ended up being, as long as he's healthy, pretty good. Thoughts on Logan Jones looked like a hell of an athlete at the combine. Yeah, you look at what centers are working right now. The athletic ones are working. Tyler Linderbaum he's not as good as him, Iowa center, but not as good, not nearly as good, but undersized, but super athletic, really good tape. He's going to be good. He's probably he could go in the 3rd. He might go, maybe more likely to go early 4th. A really good pick there if he does. I like the center class a lot. There's a lot of guys really, really close in grade. Parker Brailsford, another one like Logan Jones, undersized. but very athletic. Good tape. Let's see. Wasn't Chris Bell thought of as a mid-first round? Yeah, Chris Bell, yeah. Before the injury. I don't know if he would have went there. Possibly could have went late first. Yeah, he definitely could have went late first. The injury. Yeah, I think just because there's talk about him maybe not being ready for training camp, that hurts him a little bit. But a freak dude, Chris Bell, I have as a second round guy. Back to the draft. Jake Goldday for the Panthers. Another guy that I maybe a little bit too much hype, but I mean, you do like the size, the athleticism, but it's more like straight line athleticism. I feel like, he could be quicker. He's a little stiff. I didn't like him as much as I thought I would. I feel better about him in the third round, but I understand the ups. I could end up being like a Jack Campbell. I wasn't a huge Jack Campbell guy out of college, so even though I thought he was a good player, so he could end up being a player like that. Cassius Howell goes to the Packers for Ryan Fish at pick 20 in the second round. Yeah, so freak edge rusher. LSU game was insane. Knows how to get after the quarterback, has that get off speed. It's just severely undersized in general, but especially when it comes to length. And how involved is he on running down? So that's kind of the scare with Howell, but natural pass rusher, could drop in coverage as well. Josiah Trotter for the Bucks. That's a good fit. I mean, a guy that is a dominant downhill run stuffer. You wonder how involved with the passing game, pass defense is in coverage, I should say. Chris Brazzell for the Eagles, interesting one. A guy that, some serious speed, good length. He's kind of stuck on one side of the field. Weird Tennessee wide split offense, so kind of a boom or bust guy. Malachi Lawrence still on the board and all the way down here for the Chargers. So that feels like a really good value pick. A guy with good size, good length, good production, good speed, athleticism. A guy you kind of you take a chance on. Let's get you with some more picks. So that'd be a really good value pick for the Chargers. Gabe Yakus for the Lions. I feel better about him in the third round. He's getting a lot of buzz lately. This is the back end of the second. He's a safe pick. I feel like he does everything pretty well. I'm just not like blown away by anything. He does. He's pretty twitchy off, getting off the ball. So I do like that. He's been pretty productive. He could be better still. That's why I'm left saying he could be better like in every category, but he's pretty good in every category. So I thought, early third, but can't rule out the late second. Sam Hesht. The Bears will need a center, pretty damn good center class. He's an interesting one. When you watch him pull and get outside and get downfield from the outside, the next level blocks from the outside, he looks insane, right? Insane. Like where he could be the best center in the class. But then you see, and there's a lot more of everything else. You see him doing everything else, and I'm left wanting a little bit more, and it's still good film. That part of it makes me say like fourth round pick for him. But when you watch him pull and get outside, and which isn't going to be every play, not nearly every play, but when you see that and you just take the cut-ups from that, you want to go, this is the next elite center. But it's not. When you look at the whole story, that's not really the case. Not that I'm knocking him completely in the other categories. Another center, Connor Lew, who I think chances are could be the best center in his class. He is coming off an ACL injury, but he's a very young prospect. I feel like he could play in any scheme. Good combination of physicality and athleticism. So I do like Connor Lew. Center, I'm so intrigued by the center class. There's going to be a run on guys in the third round. You can see a couple here in the late second. Run on guys in the third and fourth round, and a handful of those guys could be starters this upcoming year, or maybe it's next year. Like the Bears, whoever the Bears take at center, maybe it won't be right away. Maybe same for the Niners, but I'm so intrigued by the center class. Oscar Delp for the Texans, putting my tight end rankings together, but he is my number 2 tight end in the class. Can't pay attention to the production. This guy's a machine when it comes to pass catching, but he can block as well. So tough after the catch. The guy can fly as well. That would be a sneaky pick for the Texans. Wise Kodiak for the Bears takes Traden Stukes from Arizona. Everyone listed him at corners because I got technically he plays in the slot. I view him as a big nickel safety. But for the Bears, I feel like he would play safety because they have Kyler Gordon who plays the nickel spot, and and Dennis Allen runs split safety, and they need another safety out there. Stukes could do that. Most of his reps were from the nickel. He's great there. But, man, the reps where he lined up at safety, but not even all those reps. The reps where he lined up at nickel, but second the ball was snapped, he got his ass back there deep, and he looked like a natural back there. So I think he has some upside back there. So that could be, if a team like the Bears takes him, that would kind of get me pumped up because I feel like that would be the mindset there as well. And then D'Angelo Ponce for the Rams and Sammy. The Rams already added a couple starting corners, but maybe you could use another. Ponce is just, he's 5'8". He doesn't care. He's so damn good, so instinctive in zone coverage. He'll throw a blocker right off him and make a play, get downhill. Not going to miss many tackles. It's just, you got to appreciate it. He's so talented, so good. I actually have him ranked ahead of Avion Terrell right now, which maybe you could say Terrell has more upside if he's healthy. And back-to-back corners that I just I love. Oh, and I picked them, apparently. That's crazy. I forgot I was controlling the Broncos. You guys probably told me in the chat. Maybe not. I forgot I was picking. It auto-picked Keith Abney, and I love me some Keith Abney. And I actually like him in the second round. Love the way he breaks on the ball. Downhill corner that can play outside, he didn't play a ton in the nickel spot, but you feel his play style. He could play there if you need him to. Physical, just love the way he plays the game. So I really do like Abney. I have Pons and Abney well over Cisse, which most of the world does not. Then we have Jennings Dunker for the Patriots, a tackle that's going to move to guard. I don't like him at tackle. I do like him at guard. But the versatility, the flexibility would make some sense for New England there. Dominique Orange for the Texans in the beginning of the first pick in the third round. Just a true nose tackle. My part, and I like stopping the run. I like nose tackles, but my issue is a guy that just not going to be on the field on passing downs at all. Like, he is for sure only going to be a running down guy. Where do you take him? That's kind of my issue. I know there's some buzz about him going second or third. I might grade him a little lower than that, actually. Then Chris Bell, still on the board, goes to the Titans. Home run hitting type of receiver if he's healthy. Could be special. Needs to develop a little bit more of a route tree. Boom or bust type guy. I would like that in the third round there for Tennessee. Elijah Surratt for the Raiders. Another guy he's either going to figure it out. We're going to know right away. Can he separate? Is he twitchy enough of a route runner to do it in the NFL? We're going to know pretty early on, but he's a smart route runner. He's a smart player that's got physicality to him, could box out a corner, can make a play at its highest point. So there's a lot to like, and there's some to dislike. Raiders grab him in the third round. Caleb Tiernan of Northwestern could move to guard. He's a weird build because he's so tall, but the arm length does not match. There's all kinds of guys that are lacking in the arm length department, but they're not like the tallest guys in the world. Like, it's weird body, weird build. Solid pass protector, could improve as a run blocker based on what I've watched. Maybe a little early for me, but a lot of people are on board with him being an early third-round pick. I have some sneaky offensive tackles that I like better than a lot of people. Somebody told me, am I up again? No, that was before probably. Did the Broncos pick in the third round? Now, didn't they give that pick up too? They gave that pick up, right? Or they swap picks? Now, they gave it in the Jalen Waddle trade. Trying to get back to there we go. Keontae Scott for the Texans. Yeah, slot corner. Good in zone coverage, good blitzing, downhill option, instinctive, be a good pick there. Jalen Farmer for the Chargers and Jacob, that'd be a good pick. I mean, the combination of athleticism and physicality and size for Farmer, it's pretty impressive, right? He needs to improve as a pass protector, but good enough there, especially for the third round. Really good run blocker. But again, a guy you definitely want to work with. That'd be great for the Chargers in the third round. AJ Halsey, big-time playmaker. Reads the quarterback, jumps the ball. Not going to be for everyone. I like him. I like him. He's fun for the Commanders. I guess the issue is he kind of has the play style of a single high free safety, but maybe doesn't have the speed to be an NFL single high free safety. So it's probably going to have to be a split safety scheme. So he's not going to fit everyone. He doesn't really have the measurables and the speed, but Xavier Watts didn't either. Watts is better. But it's just straight up playmaker, right? And he's good at that. Jake Slaughter, another center off the board. I keep saying I love the center class. It's a lot of fun. Slaughter, another one of those guys that pretty good combination of physicality and athleticism. He's not kind of like Connor Loop. Like these guys aren't as athletic as Logan Jones and Parker Brailsford, but they're way more physical in them, and they're not too far off in the athleticism department. Denied Dennis Sutton for the Saints. Dennis Sutton, pretty good athlete on paper, good length, could stop the run, some production. He just pops up off his stance and plays upright. He needs to fix that. If he can't fix that, it's not going to be great. If he fixes that, he can end up, we're going to go like, that guy should have went in the first round, right? So maybe a little boom or bust there for Dennis Sutton. A part of me throughout this process was like, God, he's going to hit that boom. He's going to hit that boom part. But, when you see him play so tight, play after play, it's like it kind of turns you off a little bit. But overall, a good player. Eli Stowers for the Chiefs. Yeah, maybe to replace Travis Kelce. Some teams like him at receiver. That scares you a little bit. If teams are like, is he a receiver? Is he a tight end? To me, he could be either. That's good. But if teams are trying to figure it out, that's not really a great sign to me, even though he is a ball player. I'm going to be more, my tight end rankings are going to be pretty interesting. I have Delp at 2. For 3, 4, 5, I like Claire, Roush, and Raritan. So I like the guys that they do everything, right? They can catch the ball. They're physical after the catch, but they sure can block as well. So I like the guys that are going to be used on every down a little bit more, actually. Then Branch for the Dolphins, a boomer bust type guy. Right now, kind of just an underneath or a gadget player, can develop into more of that. But yeah, you're looking for a Tyreek Hill replacement who's still a free agent, by the way. Branch could be that guy. Back to the chat. What do we got? Day 3 edge and D tackle you think deserve more hype? Good question. D tackle, I got a day 3. I got a bit of D tackles, but some of them are probably going to be day 2 guy. Caleb Proctor is going to be a day. I love him. Onya Deem from Texas A&M. These are going to be day 2 guys. I love those guys. They're not being talked about. Day 3, how about Renee Conga from Louisville? Freak athlete, good size. Hasn't fully put it together. With the right defense, he can. Vandenberg from Georgia Tech. Another good one, good get off. Trying to think of more D tackles, top of my head. Well, edge, day 3. Crawford from Auburn could end up being a day 2 guy. Mason Rager from Wisconsin, a good day 3 option. If we want to get even deeper, Pryburn from LSU, Aiden Hubbard from Northwestern. There's some Hubbard's a deep one on day 3. He's probably going to go late. Big time sleeper. Probably missing someone top of my head. But yeah, my D tackle rankings right now are definitely different as it goes on, different from consensus. There's some guys that I mentioned I really like. Landon Robinson, another one, a D tackle, undersized, Navy, explosive off the ball, gets after the quarterback. It's a good question. Yeah, Zune's one center that I like that could play left tackle. I haven't rated him as my second center actually right now, but these guys they're all so close in grade to me that I could, flip it around. I'm trying to see if there's any more questions. We'll catch up to the mock. Let's see. I probably missed a lot of picks here. Oh, I didn't miss too many. Jude Bowery, that's one of my guys in the draft here this year. Left tackle from Boston College. Don't hear a peep about him. Not sure why. Love how explosive he is out of his stance, but the combination of length, like size, length, athleticism, and he's got some power to him, ability to anchor. It's good. This is a second round player to me. Antonio Williams for the Bucks, another slot receiver for them. Yeah, he shouldn't be available right now. So that's a good value pick. Just a good slot receiver. Malachi Fields for the Colts. That'd be pretty good to replace Michael Pittman. It'd be a pretty good option to replace Pittman there. Physical, contested catch guy, great hands. You wish there was a little bit more to his route tree, a little more separation. The more I watch him, though, he's got some footwork to him, right? He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's got some footwork. Joshua Josephs for the Falcons. Yeah, back-to-back years, Tennessee pass. I don't know if they would do that, actually, because I did hear there are some off-the-field concerns, maybe. It's not really put out there too much on Joshua Josephs. But because of Pierce, would they do that? But athletic and super lengthy, just hasn't fully put it together. Tennessee didn't have him on the field every single down, so but high upside. Then we got Ted Hurst for the Ravens, good outside receiver option, good hands, good contested catchability. Dalen Everett for the Cardinals, maybe a little early, but you do love the combination of size, physicality, and athleticism there from Everett, the Georgia corner. Corner class, very interesting. Trying to think who the top one on the board could be. Devin Moore from Florida is one I like a lot. He just has an injury history. He's still on the board here. I think he could end up going fourth round just because of the durability concerns. But if you look at his tape, he's better than a lot of the guys that are going to go ahead of him, just based off pure talent. Browns are on the clock. Aiden Hubbard, yeah, good sleeper. Ted Hurst. I like Ted Hurst. I mean, I think he'll be a third-round pick. Played weaker competition, but, he made plays after the catch. I mean, he's not going to break a lot of tackles, but he actually ran by some defenders, too, so a surprise given that with his length and his size. But, yeah, a lot of good back shoulder comeback or red zone goal line fade type plays that he really impressed on. Should go in the third round. Kamari Ramsey for the Panthers in the third. He's a tricky one too because he actually played more reps in the nickel spot for USC, but he did play all over. He feels more like a free safety, but I don't think he's going to be for every scheme, but he does have the versatility. He's just a tricky one to figure out. His tackling's pretty hot and cold because you'll see him fly downhill and make a big-time tackle, but then you'll see him whiff or read the play wrong. Yeah, again, he's a tricky one. I'm trying to figure out where I like him best. I think he'll drop a little bit more than that. I missed Romello Height for the Browns. Undersized, love the get off. I mean, explodes off the ball, and he'll get after the court. He's a passing down specialist, right? He's not going to be too much involved in the run game. Really lacking in the tackle for loss department. He could slip to the fourth round because of all that, but explosive athlete off the edge. Davison, a big Igbinosun for the Packers. Physical, press corner, can get a little handsy. It's what's going to come down to. If he continues to get penalized, then it's not going to be great in the NFL, but if he can cut those down, he could be very, very good because he is talented. Jalen Kilgore for the Steelers, good nickel, big nickel safety type player. Good athlete, good size, good length. Feel like he has a lot of upside. He might not be super flashy, but I do like the upside. Daryl Jackson for the Vikings, so a nose tackle with some good size. You like the upside on him because he's built like a tank, and he can move pretty well for that size. But then again, he does play like a tall guy, like he's upright, plays a little tall, pad level's too tall. So he could be a boomer bust guy in round 3 or 4. Zachy Wheatley's an interesting one, very interesting prospect because there is a lot to like. He played a lot of free safety, and he did show off some range back there, and he is built like he should be a free safety, but does he have the speed to be that in the NFL? He's a little lacking in that department, but when you see him get downhill and read the run, he'll do it from playing in the back end too. He'll get downhill, read the run, explode to it, make the tackle pretty consistently, or even when he's playing in the box, he reads the run so well. Or even if it's a pass, underneath in coverage, he gets downhill, makes the play. It's really eye-popping. He could end up being, and he ran a slower 40. I think he plays faster. He could end up being like, he's not going to be Kyle Hamilton. Not at all going to be Kyle Hamilton, but he could be like that similar path here, where at his career at Notre Dame, Hamilton was this rangy, freak, ball-skilled safety that he's got to be a free safety that could do it all, right? And he gets to the Ravens, and he's a big box guy that also could align at free safety, and because he could do it all, but he's so good there. I think Wheatley, and there's a lot of similarities where they both ran slower 40s than expected. They're both really good against the run. They're physical, they're lengthy, they're instinctive. They get downhill, make a play. I think Wheatley could end up having a similar route, a similar path there, and that makes me like him more. It's just he's a little risky because he's a free safety right now that's lacking some speed. But interesting prospects. Talked a lot about him. Logan Jones, we talked about him from the chat. Very athletic center. The athletic centers are working out in today's NFL. They're very much working out and coming from a good program at Iowa. That'd be a good pick for the Cardinals. Jayshon Barham, one of my favorites, going to be on my guys list. Off-ball linebacker turned edge rusher, but still plays both. He looks like a natural off the edge. He stops running at a high level. He, in specifically Dennis Allen's defense, he's probably not going to play off the edge. Maybe he would play off ball. I'm trying to think if he would fit that. Yeah, he would play off ball and he'd blitz the shit out of him. He would fit that. He would be a great blitzer in that scenario. I want him to go to a team that I'd probably prefer. He could fit that defense, but I'd probably prefer a 3-4 defense where I'm picturing like the Bucks defense, Todd Bowles defense, or Brian Flores Vikings defense, where he can stand up and rush off the edge, or he can blitz off ball. You can play him at both. I think you get the most out of him doing that. But I love his motor. I love his energy. He did headbutt the ref in the Ohio State game. Can't do that one. I don't know how he didn't get ejected. There goes Bryce Lance. We talked about him. Home run, elite speed, catches the ball in stride, natural hands, plucks the ball out of the air. You want him to develop more of a route tree, but you're not drafting the 3rd round for him to be an elite receiver to do the whole route tree and play every alignment. You're drafting the 3rd round to do what he does, and he does what he does at a high level, and that's play on the outside, use your speed, and catch the damn football and make big-time plays. That's what he does. Max Clare for the Eagles. Yeah, I like Clare. The tricky part about him is he went to a better program in Ohio State, but I thought he was better with Purdue, right? But he's kind of a total package tight end. I'll catch him sometimes catching the ball with the palms up when they catch it like that. I'm nitpicking a little bit, but with tight ends, I want them to be firm, catch the damn ball. I mean, he catches the ball. It's not like he drops it, but a little more technical. But he's good after the catch. He's a good route runner. He can block, and there are better blockers, but he's pretty good. It makes sense. I think he'll easily go in a 3rd round. Kyle Lewis for the Cowboys, athletic linebacker that can play that nickel spot, rangy. You'd be curious with the Cowboys probably use him in that nickel spot a bit if they took him. Skylar Bell for the Rams. Yeah, I like him a little more early 4th round, but a big play waiting to happen. So, I mean, if he went to the Rams, you'd feel pretty good about him having success, obviously. Back to the chat. I went on some rants. Hurst can complement Zay Flowers well. Need someone else like that. If you're Miami, would you trade down from 11 even if Bane or Downs are on the board? Multiple chances that the second round has a lot of starts for us. Ooh, that's good. It's a good question. Because I would like to have a load of second round picks. That sounds awesome. You already have 2 first round picks. I mean, if a player like that, like a top 10 talent, like Bane or Downs are there at 11, I probably would take one of those guys. That's tricky, though. Asking about the Texas defensive backs. Muhammad, I like. I like Muhammad. He's a little on the thinner side, but it's quite a few of these corners are. Really smooth mover in and out of his breaks, opening up his hips. Can attack the ball. I like him in a heavy zone defense. Not that he can't play man, but I think he's a third round pick. I think I'll have him ahead of Cisse as well. And then Taff, instinctive, nothing like wow about his game. I think he'll be a day 3 guy, but I think he could be a steal on day 3. I think I just answered that one. Okay, back to the draft. Sorry if I'm missing something in the chat. Let's see. Third round, we're getting towards the end here. LT Overton for the Dolphins. Seems a little early. I'm going to list him with the interior defensive line. He's just not an edge rush. He's not going to play wide, right? He just doesn't have the speed, the quickness to get off, none of the above. Closing speed after the, within the play as well. But he's physical. He's got some good experience, some good play under his belt. He could be a solid 3-4 end for a team. But maybe there's some teams that want to work with him as a 4-3 defensive end. It's a possibility. Mike Washington Jr., the Patriots don't feel like they need a running back, but you got really good talent still available, a second-round talent, so why not? And there's another running back, Emmett Johnson, for the Seahawks. So the Seahawks wait this long. That's not that long, but badly need a running back, wait this long, but still get a big-time running back that could be he could be great for them, could be their starter right off the bat. That'd be fantastic, actually. And then Brian Parker for the Vikings, played tackle for Duke. He's likely going to play center, and that's got to be the thinking here for random picking for the Vikings. Not a random pick because they need a center, and he has a lot of upside at that position. And we have Jacoby Lane for the Bills, underrated, big body, elite catch radius, outside receiver for Buffalo. Could Keon Coleman scare them a little bit? Maybe. Billy Shroud for Notre Dame, interesting one. He does have some durability concerns. If it wasn't for the durability concerns, I think he would go early second rounds. Could he even go late first? You can't really. Could he be in the position that like Rutledge and Pregnone are in? I bet you he would be. If you watch him versus USC, which feels like every offensive lineman beat up USC because their defensive line stunk it up pretty bad. But if you watch him against USC, that is elite outing for a guard prospect. Heidenreich for Navy, receiver / running back. Maybe a little early because what is he going to be? But he could play both. Of like a very, 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 very poor man's Christian McCaffrey, but a fun little project there for the Cardinals. So we can look through the drafts real quick. Cardinals got a haul. Some interesting picks. I liked Anthony Hill, Logan Jones. Other ones were interesting. Falcons, Bernard and Joshua Josephs. Maybe a little early for Josephs, but he does have a lot of upside. I do love the Bernard pick. The Ravens, solid draft. Delane's really good value pick. Miller, about around, maybe it's around where he should go. And Hurst, same thing. They get better, obviously, with this draft. The Bills, TJ Parker and Jacoby Lane. That's a sneaky one there for Buffalo. Carolina, Lamu, Galde, Ramsey. I don't know if I'm in love with that one for the Panthers because, you get a good left tackle, but when Ikem Ekwonu is good to go, which might not be all year, but you have Rasheed Walker, is it worth using a first-round pick? Golladay, I think, maybe a little overhyped, but a good linebacker with upside. Ramsey's another one I think might be a little overhyped just because, I mean, he's a good football player. I'm just trying to figure out where his actual position should be. He actually played more nickel, but he almost gives you vibes of a free safety. I don't think he has the range to be a single high. It's a little tricky. The Bears... McDonald feels more like an early second, but the Bears get a major boost stopping the run there. Sam Hesh, maybe a little early, but it's a good fit at center. I love Stukes. Stukes and Barham are both of them are gonna be on my guys list, so I love that. Bengals, Styles ends up being a really good value pick and a really good fit. Chris Johnson, really good. This is a really good draft for the Bengals. Slaughter's gonna be a really good center. Some good football players that can make an instant impact if you need them to, and the first two for sure will. If Slaughter starts, then he will. It's a really good draft. We mentioned the Ravens one I liked a lot, but so far the Bengals maybe winning the draft as a complete 3-round here. The Browns get Tyson, Blake Miller, Denzel Boss, and Romello Height. Pretty good one. I mean, Tyson feels a little early given the durability concerns, but if he stays healthy, then it's going to be a good pick, right? And you just get that much better at receiver, adding both those guys. And then Blake Miller, I'm a big fan of. You might have to move him to the left, though. Height a little early, but the Browns get a lot better with this. The Cowboys, Maui Noah. It's an interesting draft because Maui Noah, now you don't see them mock to tackle at all, but Terrence Steele, not going to be around forever, we don't think. Maybe it could be one more year. Maybe he gets replaced if they draft Maui Noah. Maybe he's on the bench or cut or traded, whatever. So it could be a pick. That could happen if he's there. Mesidor, you could argue against fit, but a really good player. And Kyle Lewis, I guess debatable, but a really good player. They'd probably use him in the nickel spot a bit. Pretty solid draft. Broncos. That was my auto pick, and I am Keith Abney's going to be on my guys list, so that was funny. For the Lions, I like Caden Proctor. Love the fit. Yakis, not super flashy. Doesn't wow anywhere, but a pretty balanced edge rusher. Packers, Howell, another flashy edge rusher. Not the biggest. Does he help you against the run? We kind of broke these guys down already. Some solid options. Texans, Rutledge, they traded back Rutledge, who could start right away from them at guard. If he doesn't, there's your guy of the future. Delp is my number 2 tight end, so I like it there. Dominique Orange, there's been some second and third round talk. It's just how he's only going to be on the field and running down. So where do you take him? And Scott's a really good value pick. It's kind of a sneaky draft because Rutledge's really going to help you. Delp is sneaky good. Scott is a good value pick there. Colts, R. Mason Thomas, underrated pass rusher. Malachi Fields, I think could replace Pittman pretty well. It's a pretty good draft. I'd still say the Bengals are winning. The Jags straight up get Banks, boomer bust guy. If he's healthy, it's going to be boom. Chiefs, Bailey, my number 2 overall player in the draft at 9. Elite pick right there. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I don't expect them to take a safety because they don't value safety in the first round, and they have a couple options, but even though they lost Brian Cook, drawing a blank there. Cisse, a lot of upside. If he went to the Chiefs, he'd figure it out, right? The upside would hit. I just think he's a little overrated as a prospect. And Stowers could be the next Travis Kelce. It's a sneaky draft right there. Bailey is maybe the best single pick. Chargers, McCoy, Lauren. This is a great one here. I guess you just question, will the Chargers finally value corner like that? Maybe, maybe not. But McCoy has a chance to be an elite corner. You take the shot at 22, right? It's boom or bust because of injury. Malachi Lawrence might be a first-round pick, so this is great value. And Farmer, I mean, imagine at this point, if the Chargers didn't take a guard yet after 2 picks, Chargers fans be freaking out. The whole world be freaking out. But if they get Farmer in the 3rd round with his upside, that'd be great. So the Chargers are in a battle with, let me look at this Bengals one again real quick. Kind of going to pick one here. That's tough. Which draft is better? I'm kind of going off my board. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Chargers get such good value at Malachi Lawrence. It might be the Chargers could be winning this right now. It's pretty damn close. Rams, Interesting draft. They go tackle in the first. It's a possibility. I love D'Angelo Pons, Skylar Bell. Let's see. I lost my spot. Raiders. Get a right tackle for Mendoza. You're not sure has a chance to go in the first round. Surratt. Keep losing my spot. Dolphins. Whoa, a lot of picks for the Dolphins. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Ruben Bain, big time pick at 11. Colton Hood, right around where he's mocked, but I like Colton Hood a lot. Basantis, I have is a first round guy, going to be on my guys list. Home run pick. Branch, probably around where he goes. I'm not a big Branch guy, but you can't complain the third round. Wheatley could end up being but we kind of broke it down. Could end up being a boom or bust guy. I like it in the third round. I like Bryce Lance. He could be boom or bust as well, but I like in the third round. I don't love the Overton pick, but overall, this is one of the better ones as well because you get crazy impact at the top. You get a steal with Basantis, Wheatley, and Lance. I mean, they're not steals, but I just like the picks there. I feel pretty good about that Dolphins one. That's up there with the Chargers and Bengals as well. Vikings. I like this Vikings one. Thieneman feels like a dream pick. Jadarian Price, for me, diehard Vikings Notre Dame fan, would be a dream pick, and he's my number 2 running back. Darrell Jackson, boomer bust type guy. Brian Parker would start at center for them, a lot of upside. It's a pretty good draft for the Vikings. It's up there, maybe not in the top 3, but it's probably not far behind. Casey Concepcion, big value pick there. Big time receiver for Drake. This is up there as well. This is Dunker, that's right around where Dunker should go, late second, early third for me. Mike Washington should be a second round pick. I mean, people might look at this and go, they don't need a running back. Is it going to be the third running back? But I look at it in terms of value. Mike Washington is a big time running back. Getting him with the 31st pick in the third round, this is tremendous value. This is up there with those other 3 that I mentioned, Bengals, Chargers, Dolphins, for the best value drafts, in my opinion. Hopefully I didn't skip anyone. Saints, Carnell Tate, Lee Hunter, denied Dennis Sutton. This is a pretty good draft. Lee Hunter is a good value. This is right there with the Vikings, kind of the tier behind those top tier ones. It's really good. Giants, Downs, Rodriguez, Schrouth. Pretty good. I don't see them taking Downs, but great player. Rodriguez, really good second round. This is a pretty good draft right there. This is a draft that makes sense. I don't see them taking Downs. Jets, little bold with the first couple picks, but really good players that I really like. Maybe bold with all of those picks, but they're good players at the end of the day. Eagles, Zion Young. I could be wrong, right? I just don't see them taking Zion Young. I don't see them, Vic Fangio might be done after this year, though. Maybe they're thinking about a different scheme going forward. I don't know, but I don't see him as a fit in that scheme. That's just me. Brazel's a boomer bust guy in the second, worth a shot. Tiernan, maybe I don't like him as much as other people, but in the third round makes sense. Claire's a really good pick at the 27th pick in the third round. Steelers, Omar Cooper, Ty Simpson, Jude Brown. This is a really good draft. Really good draft. Love Cooper. They need a slot receiver. They get him there. Ty Simpson, they need that quarterback of the future. They get him at the 5th pick in the second round. Don't need to use a first round pick on him. Jude Bowery is another guy on my guys list. Love him at left tackle. Shocked he's not being talked about more. And Jalen Kilgore are going to be a really good nickel option with upside. This is one of the top drafts as well. This one from the Steelers. Really good, really good. Seahawks, Avion Terrell. I mean, if he's healthy, that's good. Derek Moore, physical defensive end. Could play outside linebacker as well. Late second. I'm more of a third round, but late second and 32nd pick in the second round makes some sense. Emmett Johnson. So pretty balanced, good draft. Terrell stays healthy. It could be a home run draft. 49ers, Sadiq and Lou. So an interesting one if they took Sadiq, but I think it would work out for them. I think it would be good. And upgrade at center, especially for the future. So that's pretty good for the Niners. Bucks, Falk, Trotter, Antonio Williams is a pretty damn good draft as well. Falk would be people would debate him if it's a fit or not. Trotter's definitely a fit, but Falk with that upside would be great. Antonio Williams, I think he's firmly a second round guy, so great value there. Titans, Reese would be an A++ pick there. Pregnone in the early second. This is another one of those really good drafts because Pregnon could be a late first. Reese could be the second or third pick. They get him at 4. Pregnon could be a late first. They get him early second. Bell could be a second. They get him third. Seems pretty good. I don't know if Pregnon and Chris Bell I would consider steal. Like those are crazy steals at those picks, but they're kind of nearing. But they're still like they're really good value picks. Commanders, Jeremiah Love, AJ Holsey, some good picks there. A lot of flash with those guys. So there you have it in the chat. What'd you guys think? Who had the best draft there? Yeah. Savai, well, I lost it. I was reading Savai Naya was the worst. What are your thoughts on Savai Naya being the worst guard in the NFL last year? Was he the worst guard? I think he's pretty promising. I mean, he's a tackle that moved to guard. I still trust the process there. Well, all right. That was a good one. According to PFF, yeah, I'm not a huge PFF guy. I like Savaianaya's upside. I like the upside. Should we do it like we did last time? Another just one round. I gotta go soon. So real time. Let's new private room type. Private. Allow spectators, yes. Your team. I'll just pick the Broncos. We're just going to do one round. Allow trades, yes. 1 minute. Lock after start. No, I don't think we want to do that. What time is it? So, yeah, start at 6:40. Save and publish. Here we go. One round. Just one. I gotta go very shortly. So, go to the room. Starts at 8 minutes. We're going to put this link in the comments. Bonus draft, baby. We'll do more streams like this. Would Folk play 5-tech in a 3-4? Yeah, that's what I was it's a good question because I could see him playing that. I could see he has some moments where, not a lot, but where he stood up and rushed off the edge. So I think he'd play both, really, is what I think. I think he'd play. He would kind of continue to do the same what he did at Auburn, probably. I would prefer him just as a 4-3 defensive end. That's kind of what I'm hoping for him to reach his upside. Link posted in the chat if you want to join this and pick your team. If you still need to sign up, use code GOAT. Might as well, if you don't get on this one, you might as well do it now so you're ready for the multiple more times we do it going forward. Bonus draft, it's filling up. That's what's left here. I am going to take a bathroom break like I always have to do. I'm back. What do we got? 5 minutes. We're filling up. We are filling up. Still some teams left out there. I'm kind of blocking the Falcons. They're still open as well. Yeah, it costs money to join, but it's only, what is it, $3-4 if you use my code GOAT. And to me, it's worth it because not only are we going to do more of these, but you can do them on your own too with other people. There's lobbies already created. You can create your own lobbies. There's different game modes too. I think they have game modes that are like further in the off season as well. Like after teams get these picks, like get their rookies on their roster, that there's like game modes on the site. So I think it's worth signing up. You know, if you use my code, definitely worth it. Definitely signing up. Good to hear. Yeah, we'll do more streams. It's, 2 weeks to the draft, so we'll do more next week as well. Possibly another one this weekend. We'll see. 3 minutes till start. I could switch from the Broncos to another team if it's open last second. Trying to think which team. Trying to think which team I would go with. Bills could be fun because what the hell are the Bills going to do? Kind of getting in those spots with the Bills and mock drafts. Like, ooh, what are they going to do in this scenario? Could take the... I took the Rams the last time we did the bonus draft. I appreciate that, Jonathan. 5 years. Appreciate the continued support. Means a lot. Let's see. Back in the day, the Codehouse used to cover the NBA draft too. Yeah. I used to be more locked in with the NBA. Like, I never knew as much about basketball as I did football, like not even close. But I used to I knew what I was talking about, right? It was more as a fan, but I knew like I was a knowledgeable fan. Now I kind of, I don't know, basketball for me is kind of been slowly dying. I mean, I still like it. I still watch it, but still high on Max Melton. I liked him coming out of the draft like you. Yeah, I mean, he has his flashes, right? Yeah, no more Jonathan Gannon in there. We'll see, but I still like his upside a lot. Appreciate you guys for your support. Any way you can, see how long you've been subbed. I don't know. I feel like it shows. I can't remember what it shows. There will be a live stream during the first round with Junior and Pete. Yes, we will be doing the live stream. Can't wait for that. Got the boys joining me. We get to watch the round one unfold. We got a minute till this starts. Bills are open. Patriots are open. Raiders are open. Jags, Colts, Texans, Packers, Vikings, Eagles, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. Oh, I forgot Falcons and Panthers too. A lot of teams open. Shit. I'm doing good. You've been hitting the gym. I've been hitting the gym. I don't go crazy in there, but I go Monday through Friday. "22 seconds. I better pick a team. Do I pick my team? Do I go Vikings? just gonna pick Dylan Thieneman though if he's there. Like it's good. Who else could I go with? Patriots, Eagles. Give me the Eagles. Let's get them back on track here. You take the Chiefs just to draft a punter? Special guest, Old Yeller. Well, not gonna happen. He'll be in the chat. He'll definitely be in the chat. I gotta enter. What happens if I... Did I put the link in there? No, never mind. We got auto pick for the Raiders. Graded Austin Jackson an F. Yeah, Austin Jackson's pretty good if he stays healthy, that is. Austin Jackson. I'm trying to remember. I remember being surprised about that pick. People were excited about Isaiah Simmons. Trying to think of picks that I really graded poorly. Here goes Mendoza. Oh, let's put different screen. Here we go. There, that's better. Trying to think of the picks in the first round that got poor grades. I mean, Cole Strange had to have. Peyton Turner did. It was a wild pick. Leatherwood was a wild pick at the time. They took him over Darisaw. I was just mind blown by that. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get a terrible, terrible grade. Sub to the channel April 26, 2019. Look at that. Appreciate you. Jets. We finally got a normal Jets draft. Arvell Reese goes second. It does feel like it's going to be Reese or Bailey. There's some rumors that it could be Carnell Tate, which, I mean, they need a receiver really badly. Could the Jets trade back? Remember, this is, another beautiful thing about the draft, or leading up to the draft and draft day before the draft actually starts, is we didn't really think the Browns and Jags could trade. We didn't think the Jags could trade up for Travis Hunter. Was that really talked about? Not really. And all of a sudden, it happened. So maybe we get the draft day and the Jets are talking about trading back. Maybe it's a possibility. So crazy things can happen up there. Regrade the Tua Jackson Igbinoghene draft. What would you give it? Oh, yeah, it doesn't look too good right now. That's tough, though, because I'm not a big regrade guy, because like today, you would probably give Tua a bad grade, I guess. But, I mean, he was a pretty good quarterback for them for a bit. I mean, the concussions kind of took over as well, so I don't really want to... And it, never was like an A+ anywhere near like that type of grade for that pick, but I don't really want to change that too much. That's another reason I'm not a big regrade guy, because they're two totally different grades, right? When you're grading the night of the draft or the next morning, you're not grading how they're going to play year one, year two, even, you're grading the value of the pick, the fit involved, and that's what you're grading. So when you're regrading it, it's based off something totally different, really. So it's a little tricky with that. That's why I don't really love the regrades. Where are we at? Maui Noah to the Cardinals, Sonny Styles to the Titans. Yeah, I heard today that's a realistic pick. The Titans are tricky. Like, we know Mendoza's going 1. The Jets are going to take Reese or Bailey, at least we think. The Cardinals are going to take Reese or Bailey, whoever's left, or Maui Noah. I think it's whoever's left, the Reese, or trade back. So there's some options there. The Titans, if Reese or Bailey are there, then they go that route. They're most likely not. If they're not, they go Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, I think it's one of those guys. Went with Styles. They do need a linebacker for Robert Saleh's defense. He values it very much, and there you go. They got that linebacker. Yeah, Igbinoghene was, he was a first rounder, wasn't he? I forgot about that. What do we got? What do we got? Mansour Delane for the Giants. That's a pick you don't see mocked a lot, but it's definitely possible because Giants could use a corner. They tried to get some of the top corners in free agency. They didn't do it. They did get Greg Newsome, but it's a 1-year cheap deal. Delane is that long time, potential star corner. So something you don't see mocked much could happen. So I kind of like it. Ruben Bain for the Browns. You don't see him that mocked at all, but they really could use another defensive end opposite of Myles Garrett. They could do it. Defense going to be good either way, it feels like, so maybe they go offense, more likely to go offense. And there's Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. If he's there, we expect that pick. Yeah, I forgot Igbinoghene was a first-round pick. Wow. Trying to remember his film. Me watching his film. I thought I had him graded as a second round. I thought he was. I remember him being like very handsy, very like over grabby in coverage. We got a trade. We got ourselves a trade. Oh, the Cowboys traded with the Saints. This is interesting. I'll get to why in a second. But they trade up to take David Bailey, which is great. Like, if he starts to slide, watch for the Cowboys to try to do that. It's a great fit with their new defense. It's going to be a home run for the Cowboys. Why I think it's interesting, I think if he's there for the Saints, I think the Saints take him. Because David Bailey's a great fit in Brandon Staley's defense. They need someone else opposite of Chase Young. I think the Saints and the Cowboys are like two teams I'm watching to trade up for Bailey. Cowboys trade with the Saints in this scenario. It'd be fun. Jermod McCoy for the Chiefs. Do the Chiefs value corner that much to take one 9th overall is the big question. But you got a high upside corner here, and the Chiefs could use one. But an interesting pick there at 9. Bailey drops every time in these mocks. I can't believe it. Bengals, Caleb Downs, realistic pick for them at 10. Unless they view him as like only a nickel type guy, then they probably won't take him, but I think it could work. Dolphins on the clock. He's not loving the board at 11. Who's available? Carnell Tate's, they got to take one of those receivers. I'd take Mekhi Lemon, actually, here if I'm the Dolphins. Dolphins select Carnell Tate. I mean, you can't go wrong, either one. So in this scenario, receivers dropped a little bit. First receiver off the board is at 11. Interesting. Mekhi Lemon still on the board. That's like the highlights of really what's on the board here. Saints are taking Mekhi Lemon. That'd be, man, if the Saints traded back and got Mekhi Lemon, that'd be unreal. What was the trade? So they don't get crazy value in return, but a couple third-round picks. If they get some picks and still get Lemon, I think they would get more than that, by the way. But that would absolutely love that. I feel like an A++ right there. Rams, it's an auto pick. I'm going to guess. I don't know what I'm going to guess. Fano? Auto pick's definitely going to take Fano, right? Waiting. Waiting. Monroe Freeling. Back-to-back drafts with the Rams taking Monroe Freeling. Frankie for the Ravens is on the clock. This is probably a Ioane pick. Orfano. Wild card would be Jordan Tyson, maybe. TJ Parker would be a wild card pick, but I'm guessing it's Ioane Orfano. But we'll see. We have a trade with the Bears moving up to 15. It is Ioane for the Ravens. Bears go up to 15. Bucks get 25. Second round pick and a 6th round pick. Interesting. Who did the Bears have to have? Maybe one of these pass rushers, Falk or Parker. Oh, it's just like skipped it. Or Thieneman. Get a little Thieneman action. Kobe Bryant with Dylan Thieneman. Now I wish I took the Vikings, so it's not the same old, because I would have to pick Thieneman if he's there. Jordan Tyson for the Jets, pretty good. Obviously, boom or bust, depending on the health, but that's pretty good. Arvell Reese and Jordan Tyson. Panthers, auto draft. This is a trade with the Lions. Lions went back 2 spots and picked up a 3rd. That would be ideal. Let's see. Auto picks, we kind of got to wait till the clock runs out. Panthers, Vikings, both auto picks. I wish I could control multiple teams here. I just pick for them. Spencer Fano for the Panthers. Spencer Fano. So I think they would move, if that's the pick, they would move him to center. That could work out. What do the Vikings do in this scenario? I don't know. KC Concepcion, that would be something. Maybe 1 year left with Hawkinson, so could they take Sadiq? Well, yeah, I shouldn't say I don't like PFF. I definitely like what they do. It's unique. It's interesting. They got some advanced numbers that definitely... The advanced numbers that are like facts, right? Not the grade numbers, like the advanced number, like stats that are like facts. Those are what I like about PFF. So I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't really agree with the grades all the time. It doesn't really give you an idea like who actually is playing the best, who actually is the best at those positions. There are some positions more than other that I seem to agree with them. Avion Terrell for the Vikings. I feel like he slides further in that because recent injury, hamstring, and slower 40, probably because of that. And then Chiefs take Kenyon Sadiq. So the future Travis Kelce, that could make some sense. They end up moving around a bit. Swapping around. So the Lions traded twice. So that was originally Panthers pick, yeah. Sadiq for the Chiefs would be fun. Mesidor for the Bills. Our pass rusher in there. Super talented, gifted pass rusher, just 25 years old. Past injuries is a tricky one to rank. Sky, Frank, appreciate you. Thanks for joining. The Lions traded back twice, so they're picking up some value here. Proctor for the Steelers. Yeah, they can use him at left guard or left tackle. I would like that. Proctor's a funny one because going into this process, I did not expect to like him nearly as much as I have, as I ended up liking him. So unique prospect. Falk for the Chargers. Yeah, I'm starting to think that's a little more realistic. Doesn't at first glance doesn't feel like a scheme fit, but the Chargers like their physical pass rushers. I think Harbaugh will be a fan of the upside, the length, the physicality here. Oh, I'm on the clock here. Edge rushers. Do I take Malachi Lawrence? Or do I take... I should have made my... It's a little easier if I make my own board here. Do I have any trade offers? I don't have enough time here. Oh, I'm taking... Oh. I'm taking KC. I thought about TJ Parker. It's a good option there for the Eagles, but I'm taking KC Concepcion. Too good of a value to pass on here. Even if A.J. Brown sticks this year, it's not going to be for long. You could use, it's not like he's replacing A.J. It's not like you can use one or the other on top of it. I go that route. TJ Parker was very tempting. That'd be a really good replacement for Jalen Phillips, like a kind of a complete, well, he's not complete because he needs to develop more of a rush plan, more moves. But in terms of, yeah, he could play the pass, he could play the run. Replacing Phillips would be ideal with Parker. So that was tough not going him. I went with KC though. Browns. Omar Cooper. They get their slot receiver there, replacing Jerry Jeudy. You can use both, really. So the Browns came away with Reuben Bain and Omar Cooper. Bucks on the clock after a trade. Cowboys made a trade as well. Bucks select Malachi Lawrence. Would be a good fit there. They need another pass rusher. Trade back. Still get a solid pass rusher with upside. That works out. That's pretty good. Like when you still get a good player that you also needed and you gained picks from the trade. That makes you feel even better about it. They announced who will be attending the draft. Are there any interesting names on there? No. David Bailey, Reuben Bain, Mansour Delane, Caleb Downs, Keldrick Falk, Colton Hood, Mekhi Lemon, Jeremiah Love, Francis Mawinoa, Caden McDonald, Caden Proctor, Arvell Reese, Ty Simpson, Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson. These are the prospects that will be in attendance at the NFL draft. So no surprise names there. Most of them feel like first-round locks except for Ty Simpson, Caden McDonald, Colton Hood maybe. The rest feel like first-round locks. Chris Johnson for the Cowboys. Yeah, a guy that's rising up boards. Could go late first. Cowboys definitely need a corner. That's a sneaky pick that I totally could see happen. They had Christian Parker as their defensive coordinator coming from the Eagles. He's a DB coach. Johnson as a prospect kind of reminds me of Quinyon Mitchell a little bit. So that's what kind of makes it a little interesting there, the playmaker. I like it. I like it where you make me think a little bit. Like, okay, that makes some sense. It's outside the box. It makes some sense. Cowboys got David Bailey and Chris Johnson. That's looking pretty good. Zion Young for the 49ers. That's a typical 49ers type player. They like the physical defensive end, I should say, like the physical, long, lengthy. They could stop the run. That's their type. They got one last year, Micah Williams, but he is coming off an injury. Texans on the clock. Texans on the clock with the auto draft. Like what the Cowboys have done. I like the Bucks trading back, getting some more picks. Steelers getting Proctor. I like. Saints trading back and getting Mekhi Lemons. Got to be winning the round right now. Pretty good value elsewhere as well. Caleb Lamu for the Texans. They get their tackle as an auto pick. Lions get Blake Miller. Trade back a couple times and still get a really good tackle prospect. And there's talk about moving Penei Sewell to left tackle. I don't think that's for sure, like firm, it's happening. It probably depends on who they draft. But in this case, Blake Miller played well at right tackle. So Penei Sewell plays that left tackle spot then. And that works out. This is really good for the Lions after trading back twice, getting a bunch of picks. And Blake Miller. I'd even be good with the Lions getting Blake Miller at their normal pick too. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren for the Dolphins. So they definitely need a safety upgrade for sure. They get that. Titans traded up and they get that right tackle. Interesting. So losing faith in J.C. Latham, is that why? I believe in J.C. Latham still, unless you're moving Latham to guard perhaps. But Max Iheanacho, high upside right tackle, and then Denzel Boston. Let's see the traits. Titans came up to the Patriots pick, few spots, but they do get the fifth-year option, and they just swap a third and a fourth. Pretty good. It's a pretty big swap in third and fourth though, so it does make sense for both sides. And then a true X receiver for the Ravens, which they need. Seahawks go back to 13, and they get a future second. They don't have many picks this year, so maybe they would want another pick there, but that would make a lot of sense for the Ravens. Just going up to the very last pick in the first round, so you don't have to trade a ton away, and you get that X receiver that you want. So the Titans came away with Sonny Styles and Iheanacho, and the Ravens came away with Boston and Ioane. That's pretty damn good. It's a lot of good drafts here. And so there you have it. I missed anything in the chat? Ioane was off the board you guys figured that out. But there is the draft. It was the bonus draft. We did a 3-round. There's the 1 round. We'll definitely do more of these, more streams. You could sign up, use code GOAT so you're ready when we do these, but you can do them without me as well. You don't need me to do them. And then we'll be live streaming day 1 of the NFL draft as well. With got to be a little more exciting because I got a couple more guys with me as well. And then we'll have videos that night after the stream, the next morning, throughout the entire draft, even after the draft. So it's a phenomenal time. Cannot wait. Appreciate you guys' support and appreciate you guys for joining us here during all of our videos and the stream. A lot of big videos still to come as I'm finishing up film. They're going to start another updated mock draft Sunday night like I've been doing. Been loving that kind of routine. But a lot more videos coming. I'm going to be pumping out like crazy here as I'm pretty much almost through all the film. But I got to sign off. Got to eat some dinner. Got to go. Appreciate you guys. I did say I'm a Vikings fan. If so, what are you for picks? I don't know what the question is. I like Dylan Thieneman with the first round. I know that's a common. It just makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't mind one of those top running backs that are still available in the second round. I don't know if this is the question you're asking. They're going to take a receiver a little earlier than people think. I'm trying to think receiver type for the Vikings that will still... I gotta think about that. That will be available. I'm trying to think where they would target that receiver. Somehow, like Jeremy Bernard would be unreal. Antonio Williams. If they're going second round, those are the guys. If they're going third round, I don't know if I love these fits. Someone could slide too. Deion Burks would be a sneaky one. I don't know if they would go for the undersized guys. Can't talk. I don't think they would be against it. But all right, I gotta go. That'll wrap it up. Appreciate you guys for joining. See you in the next.